Raise your hand if you like having discovery meetings but hate writing the emails that come after them.
So, Dad, why do you do these videos?
Hey guys, Matt Gambino here, helping you level up your skills in sales and marketing. This is the place to learn how to acquire new customers and advance your careers. So if you're new here, please consider subscribing and feel free to check out the show notes and links to other resources down below. I don't know a lot of salespeople who love to write. I gotta be honest, I don't like to write. It's like water torture. And the thing that I find to be most painful to write is the confirmation and next steps email that comes right after a discovery interview. It's like reviewing my notes, trying to read my own chicken scratches, trying to reorganize all the information into something that makes sense. Sometimes I just put it off, I procrastinate, and that's the worst because the longer I wait to write the message, the harder it is to remember everything that happened in the meeting and the harder it is to write. But I'm glad you're here because in this video, I'm going to show you a system that I use to make the whole email writing exercise less painful and a lot more effective. Let's get to it. All right, but before we get to the ingredients, let's quickly go over why the follow-up email is so important for moving the opportunity in the right direction. First, they separate you. Most emails are bad. I mean, stinky. Besides having poor grammar, they don't accurately reflect what was discussed and what was agreed upon. So writing a great follow-up email immediately separates you from your competitors. And in the education space, this is even more critical. I mean, these guys are teachers. They establish trust. People appreciate being heard and being understood. Imagine doing a follow-up email and then getting a return email that sounds something like this. Matt, awesome. This email tells me a lot about you and our potential compatibility. I'm excited. They save time. This one's my favorite. A great follow-up email saves time on the back end of the sales process because if and when you get to the proposal writing stage, you've got to put in a section about the situation, what the problem is and how to solve the problem. So if you had written a great follow-up email earlier, you can be in a place where you can just paste that right into the situation section of the proposal. Easy peasy. And the biggest advantage to writing a great follow-up email is control. I get to drive the bus. I get to decide what happens next. You can suggest what happens next, but I make the decision on next steps. And it's not like I'm a hard guy or anything, but I can't have things get out of control. Capiche? All right, are we good on the advantages? I'd love to hear other ones, by the way, that I might have missed, so go ahead and put them in the comment section if you can think of anything. So grab a pen and paper and let's go over my ingredients to a great follow-up email. Ingredient number 1. Purpose statement. Consider cutting out the fluff and steer away from meaningless phrases like, hope things are well, and I so enjoyed meeting you yesterday and learning more about blah, 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 blah. All of that stuff sounds nice, but it delays just getting to the point. So just get to the point. I might start by writing something like, thanks for your time yesterday. The purpose of this email is to confirm my understanding of your situation and outline next steps. So key phrases here are the purpose of, or I'm writing to, because these phrases force me to get right to the point and not dilly-dally. So the second and the third ingredients go right together in the same bucket. I call them the challenge statement and the reason for the challenge. So if you did a great job in discovery, chances are you were able to home right in on the one or maybe the two main challenges that the person's dealing with. So let's get those challenges and the reasons for them right out on the table right away. It could be something like, in our meeting, you told me that many of your intro students are not prepared for lecture. Instead of studying the material beforehand, you said that they often try to draft off other students by listening to their questions and then trying to chime in when they hear something that was already said. You told me this happens because the material often feels intimidating, particularly in the first 1 to 2 weeks of the semester. A lot of people get tripped up on this one because they feel they have to put every detail of everything that was said in the email, and that just becomes insurmountably hard. So don't try to do that. Instead, just focus on the 1 or 2 main things that the person is struggling with. You're not going to solve the world's problems in this letter. So trust that the person is going to connect the dots on all the other stuff. And a great way to do this is to use phrases like the main challenge or the primary issue. By the way, I know I'm giving a lot of backstory here. I just like to go into explanation of why I write what I write. So hopefully this is okay. Is this okay? Just let me know in the comment section either way. All right, next comes capabilities needed. I define a capability as a specific person taking a specific action at a specific point in time. The capability is not your product. It's what happens when people use your product. It's what your product allows for. So you might write something that sounds like, you told me your struggling students need a way to put new material into context before lecture, so they can better relate to the concepts and want to share what they learned in class. This is getting good, right? We're almost done. So the next ingredient is what I call give to get. Now, in discovery, you've got to understand who else is involved in the decision-making process, and you've got to assume that the person you're talking to isn't just going to offer up an introduction. So let's create a give-to-get scenario in the email. You could write something like, I am confident that XYZ company can provide your students with this capability. We agreed that I'll help you and the committee evaluate my product, and if you like what you see, you'll introduce me to Dean Smith. I was going to say Dean Martin, but that's already been done. Dean Martin. And last but not least is proof. I get to decide how this person evaluates me. In the industry I work in the most, education, that proof is almost always going to be a demo of some kind. So you could write something like, I've arranged for Mary Jones, my technology specialist, to provide you with a full capabilities demonstration of ABC product. Mary and I are available Wednesday morning and again on Thursday afternoon. Please let me know what time works and I'll confirm it on my calendar. So that's it. Ready to take a quick read of the whole shooting match? Here we go. Hi, Bill. Thank you for your time yesterday. The purpose of this email is to confirm my understanding of our discussion and outline next steps. In our meeting, you told me that many of your intro students are not prepared for lecture. Instead of studying material beforehand, you said they often try to draft off the other students by listening to their questions and chiming in on points that were already raised. You told me this happens because the material feels intimidating, especially in the first 2 to 3 weeks of the semester. You told me that your struggling students need to put new material into context before lecture so they can better relate to the concepts and want to share what they learned in class. I am confident XYZ Education Company can provide your students with this capability. We agreed that I'll help you and the committee evaluate my product and that if you like what you see, you'll introduce me to Dean Smith or Martin. I've arranged for Mary Jones, our technology specialist, to provide you with a formal capabilities demonstration of ABC product. Mary and I are available next Wednesday morning and again Thursday afternoon for a 1-hour meeting. Let me know which day works best for you, and I'll confirm on my calendar. Thanks again for your consideration and look forward to speaking with you soon. All right, so a couple of things. If this video was helpful to you, please do me a favor and hit the like button, hit the share button. Let's spread the chocolatey goodness all over the place. And second, I'd love to hear from you what other videos I should be making around emails. What other emails do you struggle with that I can help in these videos moving forward? And if we do enough of them, I'll put a playlist together. So I really appreciate you watching, and I'll see you next time.